And without further ado, welcome, welcome. My name is WriterMaven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I cover Judgment Day, which is Dom, Liv, Raquel, Finn, JD, and Carlito. I will talk about Damien and Rhea. And boy, will I talk about Rhea. I do talk about everybody else as well. Girls, Naomi's my ride or die. I would like to encourage y'all to follow me on the X at WMaven WWE. That's WMaven WMAVEN WWE. So I can add you all to my group chat. I added Elizabeth today, and in my group chat, you would have saw all the talk about what went on with Rhea and with Dom, Finn, and Liv. I do encourage you, just add me on there, drop me a DM, telling me your username, and I'll add you, or I'll recognize you like I recognize Elizabeth. So this Raw, dare I say, find yourself a woman who sticks up to you for you, like Liv did for Dom. She read Finn for filth, and Finn for filth, and Dom when she was talking to Dom about Finn. She brought up receipts, and that's what we need to do. You know how we always complain about Rhea changing history, which I'll get into to her when she's talking about later on. But you know how we always complain about like Rhea never acknowledging the history. Liv brought up the history, and Liv pretty much told Dom, "Hey, he caused your disqualification with Braun." See, we need stuff like that. That's sticking up for your man. Did we ever get that with Rhea? Like, if we take the same situation now, before I'm gonna kind of to put this question in your head, take the same situation now with Dom with Rhea. Do you think Rhea would have gone for bat for Dom, like Liv went for bat for Dom? It's something to think about. And then, but I want to talk about all that a little bit later because I want to be positive towards the end of the night because I want to get all this negative shit out the way. And by negative shit, I'm talking about Rhea's dumbass. Because this whole thing is a shitstorm. This whole triple threat that they could have just announced weeks ago is a complete shitstorm and complete and total ass. Because what the fuck was Rhea doing? From the match to her to what she did after the match to her interview, everything was just ass. Complete ass. It was all fucked up. It's all foobar. And this is the person that is supposed to be a face. She was acting the heelish out there. But guess who got booed out there? Bianca, who was pretty much calling that match down the line until Rhea decides to go into business for herself and start hitting her. And then when she calls off the match, I mean, that's well within her right to do. She was calling it down the line until Rhea kicked her. And then she wanted to get mad at Rhea, like, where was Bianca? I'm like, she was outside the ring because you kicked her head off. But I'm gonna say this now. There is something seriously going on with Rhea's wrestling because she had all this practice stacking up Liv and Raquel, but then when you get in this ring with Iyo, when Iyo can give pretty much anybody a really good match, and you know we've seen the good matches with Iyo and Liv, Iyo and Dakota with Liv and Raquel. We've seen the good matches. We've seen the good matches with Iyo and Bianca. So why is it when Iyo gets into the ring with Rhea this night, Rhea's just like botching? Like, what is wrong with you? Is this why you're not wrestling? And then this is the person that we're supposed to be saying that needs the title, but it's just a whole mess. So she gets DQ'd, she doesn't get the match, and then she decides to do a whole ass temper tantrum, just like her fellow Taylor twin, no ass selling Damian Priest. Because that's exactly what it was. Except in this instance, she didn't get booed. She's just gonna get cheered because of course people are gonna goon for Rhea. And I'm going to talk about that goonery a little bit later on too, because somebody made a really good point on the X about that. But she proceeds to do a whole ass temper tantrum, takes out Bianca, takes out Iyo, holds the title. What the fuck? This is your face. This is not even an edgy face. Like, who's our edgy faces right now? You know, even Cody will get pushed too far, But you won't see Cody just completely snapping like that on somebody that really didn't deserve it, or it's something where he caused it. Like, Cody wouldn't be going after, if somebody was a special guest referee like Randy Orton or something like that. Cody wouldn't have been going after Randy Orton if he kicked him, you know? Now he'd be fighting back if Randy wanted to start some shit, but he wouldn't just be like automatically getting in Randy's face about, not being in position when he caused the issue. You know what I mean? So we got all this shit, and Rhea is still the face. She is not going to be healed. I saw people were saying, well, this could be a heel turn. This ain't going to be a heel turn, because if it's a heel turn, that means whatever Liv and Dom did last year was all for naught. And y'all should have just kept Liv and Dom as a face. But they couldn't do that with Dom because he still gets booed. He got a little bit of a cheer here tonight, too, with the Daddy Dom chant. But still, I mean, you're going to get chanted sometimes, but he's mostly a heel. Even though he's being presented sympathetically right now. He's still a heel. That man's going to do a triple heel turn at WrestleMania. Just watch. But you're doing all this shit as a heel, but you know that whatever she does, she's going to be a face. She would have to go up against somebody that is more cheered than her to actually get a heel turn, like the actual heel turn. And that's not going to happen because they won't build up other people to be at that level with Rhea. All we ever got now is heels. The only other heels established right now are Nia, Liv, and Naomi that are actual over heels. That's it. Everybody else is just by the wayside. But here we come with Rhea's dumbass, and she just obliterated Iyo and Bianca. I saw people on here coping now. Well, obviously Io's going to retain at WrestleMania. Obviously Bianca's going to win at WrestleMania, and I'm like, first time? We said that about Liv too. We said it. Didn't y'all remember what I was saying? The most logical thing and the thing that makes sense storyline wise would be Liv to retain at the Netflix premiere. And guess what happened? She lost the title. Just because it looks obvious that Io's going to retain, and just because it looks obvious that Bianca's going to win, doesn't mean that's going to happen with Triple H's booking. It was obvious for Liv to win at the Netflix premiere, and that didn't happen. So, when it comes to WrestleMania, night 1 or night 2, if Rhea's standing tall with the title, I'm going to be sitting there saying, I told you so. Because we told them so. Now, Iyo and Bianca fans are having fits about looking completely obliterated by Rhea. And somebody would say, well, Rhea needs to stand tall. It wasn't that bad. I mean, Bianca got a riptide from the top turnbuckle. What else would you call that? That's obliterating somebody. This is why I couldn't stand what Rhea was doing on the live event tour. Why is she going 1v2 against people? She can recover, get superhuman strength all of a sudden, and obliterate 2 people. 2. And she would be doing that to Liv, Dom, and Raquel. 1v3. That's obliteration. That's not just somebody just standing tall. This is completely annihilating people. And that's the difference. That's what happens with Rhea Bookins. She annihilates. This isn't just somebody just taking somebody out. The same thing with Damian too, like when he took out Drew, but at least Drew can at least get his leg back with Damian Priest right now. And Drew has been beating up Damian. So you can at least have that back and forth. But nobody else is just like completely annihilating somebody. It's Rhea that always annihilates people. Always all the women. That's why nobody can get over. Because she annihilates people. And I was saying on the X, welcome to the Rhea Ripley Vortex. Come and stay a while, because now you're going to understand why Liv fans, why Raquel fans, why Dom fans, why Judgment Day fans were having complete fits from SummerSlam onwards last year. Now you get to understand. But since y'all didn't want to believe us, now, y'all coming around like, oh, what is this? This is some bullshit. We tried to warn you. We tried to warn you. We tried to warn you. We told y'all what was happening. We told y'all how they were manipulating the history. We told y'all how Don was looking where he couldn't fight out back against Rhea. We told you how they made Liv run away. We told you how they made Raquel look weak when she was supposed to be a bodyguard. We told you all this shit. And now that it's happening to your favorites, now y'all want to bitch and complain. Well, tough shit. Eat it. I have no sympathy for Iyo fans or Bianca fans at this particular moment because Bianca fans, she should have been in the Naomi and Jade thing. That's the only person I kind of give a little bit of sympathy to because it seems like she got pulled out of that. So I would give a little bit of sympathy to Bianca, but not her fans though. Bianca as the wrestler, yeah, I give a little bit of sympathy though. Iyo, I really don't care about because she was already a champion last year. And because I saw people on the X, well, Iyo deserves her moment. She had a moment last year. She walked into WrestleMania as a champion. We're still sitting over here looking at Liv where she can't even get on a card and looks like she might be in some non-essential tag team match that don't make a lick of fucking sense. And that's all they have for her. But you want to have Iyo get a moment. She's been a champion. She's walked into WrestleMania with another belt last year. Just because she's on a losing effort doesn't mean she hasn't gotten her moment. She's gotten some moments. She's been a Money in the Bank. She's gotten a lot of stuff. Like, get the fuck out of here with all this moment shit when you got other people that can't even get on the card, even though they've had a really good year and was creating and was setting all this storyline up. Because I also said on the X, like, it's really filthy how they treated Liv when they were going over this match setup, the promo. They kind of erased everything Liv had done to contribute to the story. Everything. It was erased. Like, Liv set this whole storyline up. Liv did. And she's nowhere to be found in the promo. Like, we wouldn't get to this point without Liv. And y'all just gonna erase her like that. This is why I say Triple H's words mean jack shit when it comes to Liv. I need actions. Because you telling us that Liv is an MVP, but nothing in her booking shows that she's been treated like an MVP. Like, I'm tired. I'm just really tired of it because this is what we had to deal with all year, and now we're still having to deal with Liv now. And the only consolation, the only thing that I'm happy about is that Liv is far away from all this bullshit. Like, I'm happy that she's not really a part of this right now. I really am. Because she probably could have made it better and the storylines would have made a lot more sense. But I'm glad she's away from it. She doesn't deserve to be a part of this shitstorm where nothing makes a lick of sense. And if they wanted to do this right, where Rhea is spiraling, because they're saying like Rhea's like having a spiraling moment, because she was just saying like, where was Bianca, all this and the third, and I'm like, you kicked her head off. So if Rhea is spiraling, she shouldn't be rewarded by getting into the triple threat match. Now watch next week; they're going to have it where Bianca and Iyo want Rhea in the match, and it makes it a triple threat match. When they could have announced that weeks ago, they had a whole other unconvoluted way of making it a triple threat match if they wanted to, and they went with this convoluted piece of shit. They could have did this earlier. They could have did this weeks ago. But if Rhea's gonna throw a whole temper tantrum and just be spiraling, then she should not be rewarded by getting into the match. That's what needs to happen. No matter what Iyo and Bianca want, Rhea should not be rewarded with the match. But watch next week, she'll be in the match. But like, Rhea calls her own match, has a temper tantrum, and then gets cheered for it. I'm just tired. Like, her character is very annoying. It's exasperating. You can't enjoy it. I can't enjoy her like as a face or a heel. It's just annoying and exasperating. And if they wanted to do it right, they would keep her out the match and shoot her down to the bottom of the card like Liv. But I digress. So that's what we're dealing with Rhea. And this is like I said, this is what they wanted as a triple threat match. See, this is why it isn't a triple threat match, because nothing makes sense. Somebody else had another interesting comment where they said, okay, now y'all want us to rally for Rhea's defense when she's not in this main event now. Like, they treated Liv fans horribly. So like, why would we rally for her defense to get into a main event where we don't even know where Liv is going to be on WrestleMania? Like, y'all talk shit about the fans, the Liv fans, the Raquel fans, Dom fans, but now you want us to rally after, because of women's wrestling, y'all want us to rally? Nah, it don't work like that. If you wanted us to rally, then you should have been advocating for Liv to be treated fairly in her feud with Rhea. And right now it's too little, too late. Also, there's also been some discourse about the goonery with in regards to Rhea, because somebody posted on the X like, why with Rhea going viral, how come her wrestling doesn't go viral? It's always just like shots of her body. Like they've been showing a picture of her like with her like gear all the way up her ass. And you remember how I was talking about it yesterday, how I really didn't like it, how she's like smacking her ass with the kendo stick, and I said like anybody else wouldn't have been able to get away with that because they'd be torn to shred. Like, how could dare you do that? You know, you're disrespecting women's wrestling, yada 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 yada. We would have gotten that, but with Rhea, she gets away with it. And I think people right now are getting keyed on to the fact that a lot of the fans are just fans because of her body. And that's fine. You can be a fan of the body, but they're overwhelming the people that are um that are wrestling fans. They're getting drowned out. Like wrestling fans, Rhea fans, and I know a few Rhea fans that like Rhea, but even they are exasperated with what she's been doing, and they don't really like how she's been acting too. So those fans get drowned out because all the other gooners want to goon over Rhea's body. And as we saw in this match, like she was botching. Like Iyo could do wonders in the ring, and you're botching with Iyo. Like this is why I said she just needs to be a special attraction. She doesn't need the title. She just be a special attraction. Throw her out there when you need to pop a rating or pop the crowd a little bit, and then she can wrestle sporadically, and then you can give somebody a match, a special match, and then that's it. Make her the Undertaker. Anywho, I'd be done for Rhea right now, and I don't want to spend all my time talking about Rhea, but I had to get that out because it's just a whole clusterfuck, and that does impact Liv. So let's go on with Raw, but as it relates to Judgment Day, the gang's all here and happy backstage. You know, Finn all says that he has Dom's back, and then immediately negs Raquel. Like, sir. And Liv is getting really on point with her facial expressions, just like Dom. So when he was doing that, you could see like Liv going like this, and then you could see when Finn was all doing all like hyping himself up. You could see the facial expressions of Finn, not Finn, like Dom, Liv, and Raquel. You know, they're just like tired of it. And then he just walks off, and then Dom walks off with them because they had the tag match. And what was funny about this is that both Raquel and Carlito almost made Liv corpse because Carlito stayed behind when he should have been following behind Finn and Dom, and Raquel was, you know, like, why are you still here? And then Carlito, you know, being Carlito, was just being hilarious, and it just pretty much almost made Liv crack. So this is why I say we have to keep Carlito around just because of these types of moments. And then after Carlito left, Liv and Raquel said they need to do something about Lyra and Bayley. And this is why I said this doesn't make sense. I mean, y'all just fought Lyra. I mean, I get it, but it just seems like it's so out of left field. There's no build to it. There's nothing. You know, I would be expecting like Roxanne to be trying to do something with Bayley. And if it was Bayley was replaced with Becky, I could get it. But it doesn't make sense. It just feels like really haphazard and you know, like they're just gonna do like a tag team. Like I don't want a tag team for Liv. Like that shouldn't, like that's just a put together team out of nowhere. Like it's not like Lyra and Bayley were tagging all this time. I'd rather have the party girls if we're gonna be doing this. But anyway, then we had the tag team match between Penta and Braun Breaker versus Finn and Dom. It was a good match. We actually got to see Dom put some offense in, and see, this is what happens when people actually sell for Dom. Now he can actually, you know, we can actually see his offense. And Dom had the bit where he was holding Penta, and then he pushed Penta in the path of Braun's spear, and then gets the pin on Penta. Now, at the time, I was really disappointed with Dom not getting the pin, but as we see later on, I get why they did it. But at the time, I really wanted Dom to get that pin. And then, you know, Finn is just like, you know, ecstatic about it, because when we get back to backstage, Finn is all happy, saying it was him that got the win. Now, I've seen some people online saying, well, he did get the pin, but Yeah, but it was a group. That's like a group effort because Carlito was involved with that. Dom was involved with that, and it was Dom that pushed Penta into Braun's spear. Like it wasn't just like he was out there by himself doing it. Now, peep Liv's face when Finn started saying it was all me, 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 and he wanted the IC title. He was gonna go see the Scrap Daddy. Liv brings up Finn's behavior, and again, this is what I love about Liv. She brings the receipts. She brings it up. Like we're not just not using history. Like we're actually using how Finn has been acting these past months, and because Dom was kind of happy about it. I'm going to get into why people were kind of confused about his behavior in a little bit, but he was kind of happy. But then Liv was just kind of reminding him, like, hey, Ben caused your DQ in the match against Braun, and Dom doesn't really think it's a problem, but Liv says she's going to talk to Scrap Daddy too. So what we're going to get probably next week is that Finn is going to be all happy because Scrap Daddy has put him in a match with Braun Breaker, but then he's going to get announced like Penta is going to be in there, and then Dom, and then Finn is going to flip out, but because Liv is the one that talked to Scrap Daddy, Dom has plausible deniability, and I'm going to get into this in a little bit on my whole thought process on this. Raw talk. Finn admitted on TV finally that he gave Dom the key card. Fucking finally. We have been going back and forth with Rhea stands talking about that key card. Well, Finn took the key card. He could have been meeting Liv. I mean, even if he did take the key card to see Liv, we have seen no evidence of Liv and Finn hooking up since then. He's been necking the crap. He's been negging the crap out of Liv and Raquel for months, and there's nothing that shows any kind of hint of them hooking up. But they always wanted to go back to the damn key card. So now that Finn actually admitted it online that he gave the key card to Dom, now we can put that bit to rest. And then also, Finn said that Liv and Dom pretty much need to be controlled and put in their place. That turn on Finn can't come soon enough. And I'm tired of his ass. I mean, it's gonna probably hurt. This Dom turn on Finn is probably gonna hurt him the most because, Finn replaced Ray, because there's always been issues between Dom and Ray, just because we can go all the way back to the custody storyline with Eddie. So there's always going to be some issues there. But with Finn, it was him being thick and thin with Finn. This is going to hurt. Now, this is why I say his Dom's behavior can be explained, because right now, I think Dom is trying to be absolutely sure about Finn's intentions, because when Dom betrays somebody, it's he betrays them. There's no going back. He cuts the ties. You're done. So he's making absolutely sure that Finn is who he is, because there's been a little bit of test with Finn. It was Finn, getting him the match, and then him getting him mad about the match because he lost. And then there's a little test where Dom wanted Penta. Now, if Finn was keyed into Dom, he would not be telling Dom that Penta doesn't need to join. He will be saying to Dom, why do you want another luchador? Because you don't like luchadors. And that's canon. Dom does not like masked luchadors. So it's actually showing, Finn's thought process. Finn is all concerned about new members, but he's not actually focused in on like Dom's true essence, which is Dom mechanically does not like masked luchadors. See Ray, see Dragon Lee, see Axiom. He doesn't like them. And then somebody also came about with another theory where Dom is playing dumb. And I'm going to expand on this. Dom is playing dumb for the plausible deniability. Liv can get Dom into the match. And then when Finn is upset about it, he can always just say it was like Liv that got me into the match. I didn't go into the match. It's a plausible deniability. So Finn isn't so focused on Dom possibly taking his championship opportunity. And then Dom can phrase it next week. Like next week, Dom can phrase it like, hey, I'm in there to help you get the IC title. And then since everything is all buddy buddy and Finn thinks everything is all good between him and Dom, it won't he's not going to be suspicious. Think about the summer of Liv Dawn. See what Dom did with Rhea. It's a similar track. It's just that Dom is using those tactics with Finn now. And just like with how it was with the summer of Liv Dom, Liv wants to do things out in the open, but Dom wants to keep things in the shadows. So Dom is not going to say all the plans to Liv because, or he's going to position it some way so Liv will take it and do whatever she wants with it because he knows how she's going to act. And then it's kind of like the same thing with Carlito. He's not going to say too much to Carlito because Carlito's a blabbermouth. So Dom just says just enough where like Liv is kind of in on the plan, but not too far into the plan where if she gets mad, like as we saw today, where she just spills everything. And like I said, Dom's confusion here just comes from Dom not really wanting to turn on Finn, and that's a character trait. Like he doesn't want to do it. He had good reasons to turn on Ray. He had good reasons to turn on Damien, and he had good reasons to turn on Rhea. But with Finn, it's different. So it's going to be harder to sever that tie. But he's going to sever that tie. And like I said, it just keeps Dom in a playing Dom type role because everybody doesn't expect him to do this. That's why I say that he's still the mastermind. He's just doing it where people always expect him to be this dumb kid from the pandemic era, and he's not anymore. And to finish this all out, I was talking about Liv's plans. It looks to be something happening with Lyra and Bailey. Hopefully, they just do a triple threat with Lyra, Liv, and Bailey, and just go from there. If they want to do something with the tag titles, that can be after WrestleMania, and they can do a number one contendership for the tag titles at WrestleMania. But right now, I'm hoping it's just Liv and a triple threat match for the IC. Just do that. But it's still infuriating that we still have no path for Liv into WrestleMania. At least not yet. So that was that Raw. I'm glad we're out of Europe right now because I'm really getting tired of how the audiences are reacting to Bianca, especially when she's been presented face like. She's like, it's like some people can't get it where like so Bianca can't show Edge as a face because she'll get booed, but Rhea can show all the heel tactics and get cheered. It's honestly kind of fucked up. So that's why I don't really like how they've been doing all these face heel dynamics right now because you do need a face and you do need a heel. And this is an all face triple threat match for that women's thing, but I digress. Like I said, hopefully next week we finally get the IC match announced and we can see all the like shenanigans with Finn and Dom there, and hopefully we can just finally pull this trigger on Finn because he deserves it at this particular moment. Thanks for tuning in to the Wrestling Receipts podcast. Remember to follow me on the X at WMaven, WWE, and on TikTok at WriterMaven for more wrestling insights and live reactions every Monday night after Raw. Until next time, I'm just saying.